Yo, what's up, everybody? I hope you're having an awesome Wednesday, one day away from Independence Day. I hope you guys have lots of fun stuff planned. Thank you for hanging out with me this afternoon. Jump into chat wherever you're watching. We'll give you all a bunch of shout outs, and then we'll get this show officially started at the top of the 4 o'clock hour. Let's see. We got, hey, what's up, Soko, Laura? Good to see you in the D Live chat. Qoys and Ken Chris over there as well, chilling in the mosh pit. Great to see you guys over there. We got Deanne out there as well, checking in from England. Shout out to all of our Patriots abroad. Hope you're having an awesome day over on that side of the pond. If you're watching on Rumble, be sure to hit that thumbs up button here as we get started. Let's see, of course, pill.net. That is home base for this broadcast. If you haven't found your way over there, make sure you do, because we do go exclusively to pill.net for the 5 o'clock hour, only place to watch it. So find your way to pill.net and find 412 Productions over there. Hanging out in the comfy bunker today, we got Joe Elaine in there first, dropping that badass sticker Maven made. She knows my love for vinyl and the city of Pittsburgh. I love that. It's so cool. Due diligence. What's up, Floyd? Good to see you, my friend. Lance Lightspear, good to see you as well. Hey, there's Maven rocking the Pilled Promos account. Thanks for all you do, Maven. We love you so much. Delia checking in from Arizona. Hope you're having a great day, Delia. And HL Paco out there. Ken Chris, good to see you, Chris. Space Cookie in the house as well. What's going on, guys? D. Richard, welcome. Norm, Hang 10, Alien Surfer, good to see you, buddy. Floyd with a Wagyu Tomahawk Cut Steak Wednesday cookie, always making me so damn hungry. Floyd, thank you for breaking that gold pill seal as always. R. Harrell in the house. Good to see Barb Robbins out there. Pip's mom also watching from across the pond over in Wales, UK. Looney Tune 17, how are you? Good to see you. We got Packers 412. Lyle, Jenny, happy July 3rd, you guys. Hope you're having a wonderful day. And we've got Mad Joker. Laura Y repping the 412. Let's go, Laura. How we doing? Matrix Codebreaker says happy hump day, Adel, and happy birthday to a free Julian Assange. Much love, fam. Thank you for the can. And is it Julian Assange's birthday today? If so, yes, happy birthday to Mr. Assange. And thank you for the can, Matrix. I appreciate it. Darth Q369, good to see ya. Welcome. And good afternoon, Mr. Gerardo. Puddin' Hollow out there as well. Roy Stones and Bones over on the West Coast. What's up, Roy? Scott, Woke Society's popping in. How are you settling in to the Keystone State, my friend? I hope everything went as smoothly as possible when you're moving across the country. I'm sure it can only go so smoothly, but welcome to PA. And yeah, we'll have to link up here soon. Ohio Kimmy, welcome. And Scott's going to be on the show on Monday, I believe. The next week, and help us kick off the week, so that'll be fun. Lucy Anders, Range Pony, Qhio 17. What's up, guys? Happy Wednesday to you all. Oh, my chat there we go. Dangleberry, what's up, Dangle? How you doing, man? Good to see Ohio Kimmy out there as well. Ohio Kimmy hooking us up with a cookie. Thank you. Paul Thaddeus, what's up, Paul? Thank you for the can, my friend. Cheers. My computer's been so slow today. It's been incredibly frustrating. Norwegian Wood says happy Wednesday weekend. Yes, thank you for the cookie, Norwegian Wood. Thank you for being here. DX says driving and listening. Drive safely, my friend. Boys Blanc says at the Island Tavern, having a drink and appetizers, loving life. Cheers, enjoy. Looking forward to maybe having an adult beverage myself here in the next few hours. We'll see. Tweety52, Dave75, hey, TN Homesteader in the chat and in the waiting room. You're here early. Here early. All right. All these talks from HR must have finally gotten to to TN. 311 Hero, what's going on? Maxinon, repping the Rise Attire Tribe. You guys haven't been to RiseAttireUSA.com. You're missing out. Evil-free apparel inspired by so many in the movement, and the only place to get your 412 gear. So go check out the 412 Signature Series. Promo code WTPRISE for 10% off. We love those guys. Bella214, the Universe OG. Duena Q of Lurks. Freedom from New Hampshire. What's going on, guys? Good to see you all. Kyrez. What's up, Kyrez? All right, I'm almost out of time here. Too quick. Nezercat checking in from Wyoming. Wood Geek. What's going on? Good to see you. Kaz 1012 Jenker 2 PNW Sasquatch. Welcome. Robbie 36. All right, it's 4 o'clock. Let's get this party started. Oh man, we got a bunch of people popping in over on Rumble. Sulfanol, UK Patriot 55, Sam the Pink Panther, Bandit 600, Julian 1970, Q Gardens, Change My Picture, Chuck Money, Tyrant South, Swoolin, William 777, and Robin Sherwood, Salacy, Nosy Poke, Glen Oak. Looks like Daddy Dragons fam is popping in big time. So love to see it. Thank you guys for joining. And we'll be right back at the start of the show.
We will make America strong again. We will make America wealthy again. We will make America proud again. We will make America safe again. And yes, together, we will make America great again.
Y'all for tuning in, Patriots United, doing what we gotta do to win. Be addicted, the MS7, now we're moving in. And once we take over, we won't ever move again. Where we go on, we go all, I say it with pride. No, we won't run, we won't fall, we're right by your side. The demons have taken hold, but none of us will abide. Stand strong and stand bold, that's how we'll survive. 412 is the production, Monday through Friday, deplorable discussions. We're making it hard for the deep state to function. Every time they switch up the narrative, we debunk it. Adol Nero is the power that's controlling the plight. But all you patriots behind them, cause we're all in this fight. So many rhyme for so long, but we're giving them sight. Trapped in the world of darkness, but we're bringing them light. You may either find yourself in a different life. A lot of us have, and honestly, that's perfectly fine. Because exactly where you are at this moment in life is where you're supposed to be at this moment in time. It's all by design, the patriots are holding the line. They must have lost theirs, thinking they're controlling our minds. So many trapped in mental prisons don't know they can find. They're just slaves in the system to the roles they're assigned. That's sad, the good news is that we're waking them up. They have monopolies on minds, but we're breaking them up. Everything you thought was news, they were making it up. When we ascend, all the tyrants won't be making the cut. Let them all burn in the hellscape they create. We the people already mapped out our escape. We hold each other by the hand as we all elevate and go to a different place. They can never get chased. When I look into the future, I can see that it's bright. When this history is written, they will see that we're right. We formed our own community and the circle is tight. But I expand the circle with every word that I write. The pen is sharper than the sword when you wield it with might. Why do you think they try to kick us off all the sites? These people hate America, punish us out of spite. We are the beacons of hope in the darkness of night. So let's go, strap in, yeah, get ready for the ride. Watch the water, we're witnessing the turning of the tide. Feel the passion and the fire that you got burning inside. Take the narrative that feeding you and turn it to the side. We're alerted to the lies, we're preaching with the truth. We know the plan they devised, they're invading the youth. Now we're only incentivized to start raising our boots. These demons all weaponized. Now we're raising our troops. Now we're raising the roof and sounding the alarm. Remember that it's always darkest before the dawn. Life is a game of chess. They want to use you as a pawn. You're only useful until you're not useful, then you're gone. But not us, we're on the right team where we belong. Everybody is invited, so come follow along. We refuse to say things are right knowing they're wrong. Adol Nero, take the mic and take flight, cause it's on.
And now, straight from the Steel City, it's your host, 412 Adol Nero.
Okay.
Yo, what's up, everybody? Happy Wednesday. Thank you guys for hanging out with us for another installment of Deplorable Discussions. My name is Adel Nero. It is July 3rd, 2024, on the eve of Independence Day, and hanging out with my good friends here. We've got a great panel for you guys today. Graham Moore, you guys might know him as Daddy Dragon, joining the show today. Graham, it's great to see you. How you doing?
I'm very well, thank you. Very pleased to be here. Been quite busy and hectic, but I'm here. I had to be on this show tonight of all nights. Good.
Absolutely. I love it. I love it. He's giddy, ladies and gentlemen, and I'm here for it. Graham, I can't wait to get all the updates. I know you got a lot of exciting stuff going on over there on your side of the pond. So very much looking forward to hearing everything you've got to update us on. But first, let's welcome in our OG panel. We got Tennessee Homesteader and Drunk Pinata. TN, happy Wednesday, sir. Happy Independence Day Eve. How are you today?
I'm doing well. Happy anniversary. And happy birthday to your father tomorrow.
Yes.
But since we're not going to do a show, today is the anniversary, 4 years, right? Trump at Mount Rushmore. So that's so it's pretty interesting how things change in 4 years in the last 6 months. Heck, in the last 30 days. You know?
Yeah.
It's getting pretty interesting. Anyways, here on the homestead, busy. Still working on that project I was telling you earlier, shoveling 2.5 tons of rock. That was fun. And that was just to get it from the truck to the ground. I still have to spread it and compact it. So
you're an impressive man, Tien. I gotta say, you're an impressive man.
Not bad for 68 years old, I don't think.
Not bad at all. If I'm still upright at 68, that'll be a major win. So, let alone shoveling tons of rock around my backyard. So, great to have you, Tien. Glad you're able to make it, and you didn't, pass out from heat exhaustion like last week.
Blow a disc in the lower back.
Yeah, seriously, we'll have to get someone from the Pittsburgh Disc Institute as a sponsor on this show.
There you go. That's right.
All right, let's get Drunk Pinata in here too. Drunk Pinata, happy Wednesday, buddy. How we doing today?
We're doing just fine.
Yeah, good. How was your show? Anything interesting popping off in the mainstream?
Oh yeah. There was a infomercial on MSNBC last night for Stormy Daniels. So she went on Rachel Maddow's show, and they kind of did a recreation of the courtroom dialogue between Susan Neckles, the Trump's defense attorney, and Stormy Daniels of the questioning, and they kind of like expanded into lewd and crude details of bodily fluids and such. And then it got to the point, I'm like, why are they, what's going on here? Why are they devoting 2 hours to this? And I go, wait a minute, they're going to ask for money at the end of this. There's going to be a GoFundMe. And sure enough, there was a GoFundMe that was posted. And at the time of the posting that they threw up the image on the show last night, it was $1,500. And now it is currently up to, I believe it's like just shy of $700,000, with an average donation right around $50.
Are you shitting me? $700K?
Yes, and they've been doing reruns on it. I just checked my TV earlier today, and they were rerunning it. And
talk
so,
about grifter, man.
But here's the thing about this is that what she is asking, why she's asking for this money is that right now, currently, she is almost in contempt of court for why not producing the information. What I believe, she said it's just they're trying to dox my daughter. No, the court wants this information. Why? Because she stashed money somewhere, and they believe that they finally found it, and probably a savings account for her minor child. She says she no longer owns her house; it's in her baby daddy's name, and that's where also some money is. And so what you have here is her needing to pay $600,000 for the legal fees that she owes Trump. Now, And
So,
how do you trick people into donating to you for you, knowing the money's going to go to Trump? Well, they don't even know. They can't figure this out. They're not thinking that far ahead, are they? So what she managed to do is emotionally appeal to all these people out there with this GoFundMe for them to donate for her in order to, quote, keep her house or to not stop being harassed and not have her daughter be doxxed, when really in reality what's going on is the lawyers have probably identified this where the money is for her to actually pay, and if she doesn't, that's a contempt of court. So sure, are they financing her to keep her from being contempt of court? Yes, but they're also $600,000 plus is going right to Trump, and I don't think these people even realize it yet. But here's, if anyone had any doubts about, like, hey, Trump didn't actually do anything with Stormy Daniels, right? This right here will remove any doubts and will put any reservations that anyone might have that even the smallest inkling of anything ever happened between Stormy Daniels and Trump. And I don't want to spoil it for you guys, so here you go. This exchange that supposedly happened between Trump and Stormy Daniels, believe me, it will alleviate anybody, if you have any doubts that that something may have happened, or I'm sorry, this will alleviate and show nothing ever happened, not even close. Here you go.
Prosecutor continues. Do you recall how it ended, the sex?
Yes.
Was it brief?
Yes.
Do you remember at some point getting dressed?
Yes.
And tell us what you recall about getting dressed.
Sitting on the end of the bed, noticing that it was completely dark outside now, and that it was really hard to get my shoes on. My hands were shaking so hard. I had on tiny little, they were strappy gold heels with tiny little buckles. My hands were shaking so hard I was having a hard time getting dressed. And he said, "Oh, great, let's get together again, honey bunch. We were great together."
Is there any universe where Trump says honey bunch? Any universe whatsoever? No. No.
I think she's rereading it like she's like,
Yeah.
it's like a bad Hollywood audition. Like it's so cringy and contrived, everything these people do.
Yeah.
Notice how they have her looking too.
Yeah, trying to make her look respectable.
Yeah, exactly.
And pantsuit and the glasses and whatnot.
She probably needs to team up with Tommy Robinson in Canada and do another GoFundMe. I'm sure he'd appreciate the help.
Yeah, right.
That's unbelievable. But just on that subject of media manipulation, I mean, we've just had a major event over here. When I say major, people have noticed it, and that is Channel 4. I don't know, equivalent to one of your extreme lefty channels over there, have basically employed an actor to dress up with a rosette of reform, Farage's party, and be asked questions by someone as if he's a candidate or a campaigner of such, right? And then start to put these questions to him, and he's come out of all these what they describe as racist comments and derogatory comments, and he called the Prime Minister, I don't even know what his name is, Sushi Russak or Shitsack or whatever his name is, right? The one who looks like a Roland Rat and he's our Prime Minister. And yet this guy has been set up, and he actually is an actor. It's now been taken to Ofcom. There's a barrister investigating it, and it's now being put forward as election interference by the media, who are licensed and told not to interfere with elections. So it's becoming quite a large event. There's something else that happened as well, but I'll tell you that in a couple of minutes. Remind me about David Curtin, but it's similar.
Yeah, so let me jump in here. Well, let me take care of our sponsor today, and then Daddy Dragon, we're gonna toss it to you and get all the happenings over on your side of the pond, because I know there's a ton of stuff going on right now over there. And then we'll get into the absolute meltdown in the Democrat Party happening right now. There is an all-out war betwixt the Biden campaign and pretty much everybody else in the Democrat Party. Whether or not he's going to make it to November is very interesting. Who is going to jump into that role if he doesn't? Also very interesting. There's rumors everywhere, all kind of conflicting reports. So we'll do our best to make sense of it. But first, our friends at earthgardenbotanicals.com. Amazing company run by our friend Jolene, who's an herbalist, a health coach, a total patriot and badass, makes these wellness products up there in Montana. Products like the CBD and hemp products. CBD oil tincture is the best I've ever had. All the ingredients for them are locally and organically grown on small Montana farms. You've got flavors like orange, ginger, bergamot, huckleberry, cinnamon bliss, peppermint, cherry. Unflavored is very good too because the product is so pure and organic. You have CBD oil for pets. You have Delta 8 R&R nighttime gummies to help you get a good night's sleep. The topical cream for your sore joints and muscles, with or without CBD infused, and arnica salve. Check out the elderberry tonic to boost your immune system. Fire cider to clear your sinuses if the allergy bug has gotten you. We got the white pine needle extract and the sunshine and pine needle tea. Two different ways to get essentially the same thing. India for a detox. If you like sipping tea, I recommend the pine needle tea. If you're not a tea drinker, you can do what I do. I take a few drops of this white pine needle extract when I feel like I need it, and just drop it right into my mouth directly. It tastes delicious if you ask me. And then there's other tea blends if you want to check those out. Things like elderberry tea, serenity, which is really good for calming your nerves. Golden potion tea. Check out the critter juice as well. It's an all-natural insect repellent, probably my favorite and most used product that Jolene makes. Keeps the mosquitoes away. It does a fantastic job at that. It smells good. It doesn't feel oily and gross on your skin. And again, the best part is how effective it is. Promo code 412 gets you 10% off everything you see here in the store. So go to earthgardenbotanicals.com, load up a cart, say hi to Jolene, and yeah, thank you guys so much for supporting Earth Garden and our sponsor here today. Hit that red pill button if you haven't already done so. Repost the show if you're watching on pill.net. Share the link, hit that thumbs up, all those little things that go a long way into helping us continue to grow. And I know we've got a lot of the fam from Daddy Dragon's channel over on Rumble right now. I want to point you guys to the link in the video description underneath the Rumble stream to our pill.net channel. The second hour of today's show is exclusively broadcast over there. So find your way over now, get comfortable, get situated, so you're not scrambling when we shut off these other platforms and go exclusively to pill.net in hour number 2. All right, Daddy Dragon. I know you got a lot of stuff going on over there on your side of the pond. Let's start with the elections and the ECP. How's everything developing over there? How are your candidates doing? What's the outlook?
Well, the outlook, first of all, the BBC will not show our emblem on their websites. So the BBC have completely said, they've said they haven't got more than 10 candidates. If we had 20 candidates, they'd say you've got to have more than 50, right? They do not. We're registered.
Can you sue them for the same kind of, like you were just mentioning election interference with the crisis actor? I mean, by them not showing your emblem, by them, pretending like you don't exist, isn't that kind of in the same ballpark of election interference? Couldn't you essentially go after them in the same way?
You're bang on the money, and it is something I'll look at. Especially with the BBC, there are quite severe rules and regulations involving the BBC, and they've deliberately done that. And there's been a number of complaints to them. So that is a strong possibility that we could do that. But people must remember, and I want everyone to understand this. I know that everyone watches me online gets it, that I'm English, not British, right? But people need to understand the English Constitution Party, the number one policy principle of us existing is self-determination for the English, meaning independence. So what you're celebrating on the 4th of July tomorrow, and we've got an election tomorrow, that's what we're talking about. We're talking about independence and giving the power back to the people. We want to go further than that. We want a republic, etc. But the BBC and international law tells them they must respect our right for self-determination, and they are not doing that. So therefore, it's a human rights abuse.
Absolutely. Absolutely. So how are the campaigns going? Are you optimistic that you guys could actually pick up some seats?
I wouldn't say we would pick up seats. We've got, I'll tell you what, the nearest one we could pick up a seat to, in my opinion, is Romford. I'm being honest with you. The people I'm speaking to are so angry at the system and the corruption of the system and seeing it. This is the first time ever I can't work out what's going to happen. What I do know is that when the English Constitution Party and Colin Birch stood, and Jane Birch stood as councillors in Romford, councillors is the ward level, right? Not the major constituency level, which is what he's standing for now. I just want everyone to understand this, yeah? We dislodged a Tory councillor who was in tears that night, right? Because he had been outed. Not because we won, because we took votes away from them. I can tell you now, something serious is going to happen in Romford because the people know Colin. People are coming up to him in the street. They recognise him because he's been there for 30 years. They recognise the dog. The leaflet went through. This is a standard. I'm not a politician. I'm a constitutionalist. I'm here to support you. So the one that we've got the most hope for is Romford, and he's put a lot of work in and effort into it. The second is going to be between what's known as Broxbourne in Hertfordshire, Brett Fruellen, and then we've got Joe Grinlar in just outside Liverpool. It's Lancashire. Everyone says that it's in Merseyside. Merseyside, as far as we're concerned, as constitutionalists, don't exist. Liverpool is a city within Lancashire, right? So just to make sure everyone's got that through their door out there, people are talking to him. I need to speak to Joe. I've been busy and I haven't been able to catch up with him. And then there's me that's standing against the Speaker of the House of Commons, right? So if you want Mr. Gobby, matching Mr. Gobby, you've got it. So if in America, for the American audience, if you can imagine someone going up against the election of your Speaker of the House, right? That's what I'm doing. So if he did get took out, and just to make sure everyone's aware of this, in that particular election, there's only 4 of us running, and I'm one of them, right? People are angry. Again, the American audience probably don't know this, but Chorley is the second largest temple of the Mormons outside of Salt Lake City, Utah, right? It's the second biggest community of Mormons outside of the United States of America. There's over 10,000 of them sitting there with potential votes. What I didn't know until I'd done quite a bit of research on them was that they believe that the Constitution is the word of God, right? Well, we're constitutionalists, and they've been sent that information previous to an election, which was Mr. Brexit. He received, I think it was something like 13,000 votes, and it worried the people in that constituency how much. And so our first thing that we've said to people is we would void anything to do with the Acts of Union, and that all of its laws were unconstitutional and should be made null and void. We would make sure that we say that every single day, that we tell politicians what you've done by enacting that law in 1972 was unlawful and unconstitutional.
Right on. So I think I've asked you this question before, Daddy Dragon, but I think it's an important one to understand. So you got four people, or you got a handful of people running. You're optimistic about maybe 1 or 2 potentially getting in. What can your party, like, what difference can you make with just having a couple of members in the House of Commons versus, you know, the hundreds of establishment and left-leaning and globalist people you're up against, right? Because it's a start. You get a couple people in there, but what can you accomplish with just a couple of reps winning their elections? Like, what would be what would you constitute as a successful term for them in office if you were to get one or two in?
Right. So the first thing to say to you is, even if you get one person elected out of 650 MPs, there's not a single MP in the House of Commons that regards themselves as English only national identity, right? Every single person in that parliament is either British, Scottish, the Scottish SNP, Scottish National Party, the Welsh with Plaid Cymru are in there, the Greens and all these others. But the Uni Party they're all solid throughout British. No one regards themselves as English. We're English, right? So the first thing is you'll get someone standing in that parliament talking up for England. The second is you've got constitutionalists elected that know what their oath is and will stand up and tell the rest of the Commons. And when they do things and try and pass laws that are unconstitutional, it will be flagged in that house as unconstitutional. And if anyone puts forward a bill, I'll give you an example. If someone tries to put a bill through Congress or the Senate that said Second Amendment don't exist anymore, right? In America, you still got people who stand up and say, that's our constitution, you leave it alone. And what you're doing is committing treason by even suggesting it in this house, right? Mm-hmm. That's what we'd be doing. We'd be standing up and fighting for people's rights that the government cannot take away from them, God-given rights. No one in Parliament is doing that. The only person previously that was close to it was Tony Benn.
Do you see like any other MPs, amongst those 600 some that might, I don't know what the right word is, but resonate with your message and join your message? Like, is there anyone in there that's even remotely parallel to what you guys stand for that you could kind of align yourselves with a little bit and try to grow your numbers and your influence? Or is it going to have to all come externally? Is it just going to have to be a slow grind over a handful of election cycles to gain more and more seats under the English Constitutional Party?
So I agree with what you're saying, and the problem you've got is the British is the greatest psyop of all time, right? Without any doubts. I don't know of any psyop greater than the British psyop. Even to the extent that they control, and I won't go into a Stu Peters rant, right? So if everyone should understand what I'm saying there, I'm telling you now, the British took back control of the United States of America in 1860, right? And they did it through the centralization of Washington and then controlling everything. So the states started to lose their power. If you imagine that system in place for a lot longer on the island of Britain, instead of the continent of America, that's what you're up against. You're up against the media. You're up against a corrupt judiciary. You're up against a corrupt monarchy, right? The monarchy doesn't exist here anymore, technically, right? Because they give all their prerogatives away. That's like the president of America giving away all their prerogatives, prerogative of mercy, for example, and saying, oh, you can have it, the Senate can have it, or Congress can have it, right? All of that's happened here. So what I'm trying to say to you is you need to attack it on more than one front. The English law courts have betrayed us in a big way. The long march through the institutions has taken place over a great deal, massive period, over 150 years. And once people understand it, then they'll understand. It's exactly the same as what's happened in America.
Right on. So what else do you have to update us on over there? It sounds like you got maybe one or two promising candidates that might be able to get in. What else is going on over there that we should know about, Daddy Dragon?
There's lots of strange things happening. So personally, I think that a Conservative and Union Party, which is why I've got no issues with it whatsoever, is going to get annihilated. A similar thing happened in Canada. The first past the post system, which everyone moans about because they want proportional representation, which is actually Marxism, right? First past the post works. It can work in two ways. It will take out the Conservative and Union Party. It could take out the Labour Party at the same time, right? You could see a big thing. But again, in this country, we've also got something else called I do not consent that you can write on your ballot, Ashby versus White, 1703. The point being, the first part of the post system is unique. So are there big things happening? You're going to see the annihilation of the Conservative and Union Party tomorrow because they betrayed the people. That's the equivalent of, technically, the Republican Party, but all being virtually all rhinos, right. and the American right taking you out. So that's going to happen. We've seen a number of issues on the streets. We see a fantastic interview, which I wanted to bring up on this show. There's a guy called David Curtin, right? I'll let him off this time because he's British. But he was actually on the LBC, which is a London broadcast or whatever it's called now, company or whatever it is. It's a national radio show, but it started off in London with a guy called Ian Dow. He just happens to be a homosexual. Ian Dow is like, he was doing a hustings. Everyone should understand what a hustings is, a political conversation with a number of the parties. And he had David Curtin, who's the leader of, I think it's called British Heritage or Heritage Party or something like that, right? I disagree with the British element, obviously, but a lot of the things that we're aligned on, right? So coming back to what you've said, I don't know if any of these people are going to be elected, but after his performance yesterday, he should be elected. He brought up live on air with a live audience everything to do with COVID, everything to do with the lockdowns, and then the conversation come on to children and homosexuality. And David, on that platform, said, you shouldn't, gay couples, homosexual couples should not be allowed to adopt children, right? The proper couple is a male, a female, and a family environment. That's what they should be in, and it shouldn't be there. And just to make sure everyone's aware of this who's listening, right? Because I put a tweet out about this on that clip of that video on Twitter, right? Let me just make sure I'm clear about this. They decriminalized homosexuality in the late 60s, right? Mm-hmm. They went from decriminalizing homosexuality to pride marches, and not only that, they put a law through Parliament to de-establish the Church of England from our national constitution, which is treason. So you went from decriminalizing homosexuality to treason in that short amount of time, and the kids and what's going on in schools, sexualizing kids, all that stuff. Dave Curtin brought it all up on that meeting. And guess what? Ian Dow, the presenter, again, he committed a criminal offence because this was during an election period. He then called David Curtin a homophobe, right? That's a criminal offence when you do it during an election. And what I've said to David is there's two sets of laws, one taught for defamation. He has slandered you and he put it out on a tweet, which is libel. But the second part of that is during an election period, what he said live on air during a hustings, when he is the broadcaster, he and LBC should be sued. But secondly, it's a criminal offence. So get him nicked. Because they would have done that to David, right? If the boot was on the other foot. Just to let everyone know. So if you want to go and find that tweet and you're going to want to go and listen to David Curtin and you want to put that out and retweet it, really, you do need to do it because people need to see that clip of David.
That's, yeah, I mean, that's, it's so frustrating is how they go and they run, like, to have an opinion saying that, the strong nuclear family, the traditional family is what's healthiest for a child, to say that, you shouldn't be sexualizing children, putting sexual content in the books in their library, exposing them to this LGBTQ stuff, to go and sit there and label somebody as hateful for having those core values is so absurd. There's a lot of gray area between I disagree with you and I hate you, right? And we've lost the ability to live in that gray area where you could say, like, I think that this is completely wrong and bad without it, being labeled as hateful for thinking that. And yeah, I don't know all the laws in England, but if that's against the law to label somebody as a homophobe or to defame somebody like that during an election, especially on those grounds, it's pretty absurd. But that's where it's gotten to. It's like that here in America too. Like if you disagree with a certain policy or don't like, what's being taught in schools or the way major institutions are promoting, some of this stuff, you're immediately just called a name and dismissed rather than having any kind of intellectual conversation about why it is you believe that,
Yeah, no, I agree.
Yeah, it's really harmful to our society that we can't have these conversations, that they devolve into name calling and things like that instead of just conversation and an attempt to find understanding, between each side of it. And I mean, I hate to just say it like this, I blame the left for it. They've turned their people into emotional mental midgets, unfortunately, that can't handle any resistance, any pushback on what they believe, and they've trained them to be triggered and to react emotionally to any disagreement and to immediately go to Nazi, homophobe, xenophobe, racist with anything because they lack any intellectual argument to push back in a way that's productive. So their defense mechanisms are to label you something that will cancel you and then dismiss you without actually having the conversation. That's been through our media, our academia, and pretty much every major institution has pushed into this way of thinking. It's completely destructive to our society, our culture, all of it.
That's Saul Alinsky, rule number 5.
Ridicule. Yeah.
So as far as along these lines of having an educated conversation, I was trying to reference, I don't even know what I was trying to reference, something to do with England, UK or Britain. And I was in the middle of trying to reference that on my stream earlier this week, Graham. And I go, you know what? I think that's incorrect because I know Graham would have corrected me of what I meant by which entity. So as far as that's concerned, is for us to be able to articulate properly, what's the best way for us to reference? I mean, is it provinces? Is it like what? How is it differentiated?
So England is a country. Scotland is a country. Wales is a principality. It used to be a country until 1536. It can easily turn back to a country. And Ireland is a country, right? So we're countries. What you've got, so vision. This is the easiest way to do it, and then I'll refer back to the USA. Right? Look at the European Union. Right. So how do you refer to Germany? As Germany. Yet it's in a union. So if this advances any further, the European Union would eliminate Germany. And that's what the British Union has done to England. And we're the biggest nation. So the USSR did the same thing, for example, with Russia. If you look at Alexander Zelensky, he actually said his biggest bugbear was the people who conflated Russian with Soviet, right? The same thing is with the USSR. And it's a British concept that's been pushed over there. So I'll give you an example. If I lived in Texas, I would say I'm a Texan. I wouldn't say I was an American, right? You are known as an American, but North America is a massive continent, right? Part of a continent, the whole of the Americas, right? So you would say I'm a Texan, or you would say I'm a Floridian, or you would say I'm an Ohioan, right? Because the state is a nation in its own right. It has a constitution. It has its own set of laws. And what you're getting is the centralization of Washington, D.C., removing that power and sucking the nationality and the republicanism out of the states and creating the union. And that is communism. That is the Roman system. And in the Roman system, there's two groups of people. One's a pleb, and the other is the lord. And the pleb is the equivalent to a slave. In fact, there's one lot of people below that, and they're called slaves. So that's the system that they're implementing. So that's how you describe it. So to describe me, I'm an Englishman. And the people that left on the Mayflower in 1620, well before the British even existed, right, were English. They weren't British. The British didn't exist.
Yeah, I think that, I mean, I guess the point of what they've been doing as probably a long-term propaganda for that is to kind of make it so that it is conflated. And I think that a lot of people here, it's harder for us to see what they're doing to you because it's the landmass just is just different, right? It's a much smaller place. But you're right, but I think that's their goal through that. Again, we've talked about this kind of concept on here before a few years ago, was in regards to the election. How can they reject the Supreme Court reject our that at the time it was the Texas Attorney General Ken Paxton put towards the Supreme Court about the 2020 election about we're being harmed, like we have injury here, and they would not recognize that and then it's where and the kind of talk came of, okay, where are we in and we kind of talked about succession, like what kind of threat of succession is that? And then we kind of got into more of a conversation about how since between myself, Adel, and Tien, we have like about, I think Adel, you and I are about like 10 years apart, and then Tien and I are about 20 years apart. So it's like we're kind of in the middle as far as like our school upbringing. And I remember that there was a very focused in civics that was, and when I was growing up, I'm 40 now, you thought of the presidency and Washington, D.C. as the seat of power. You didn't really have a sense that the states had their own sovereignty. And I think that was on purpose. And I think, but because we're a larger landmass, it was taking a longer time for that to kind of really take hold. And I think that your country and the UK in general has been kind of our canary in the coal mine for that. And I don't think a lot of people have woken up to that and realized just how much the local government and state sovereignty is so important.
Massively.
We've seen, we talked about too, like we saw a Daddy Dragon, there was a CNN segment where they were essentially mocking Trump supporters for saying that America is not a democracy, it's a constitutional republic. And you see the same kind of language game that they're playing with that, right? They're always referring to it as our democracy, 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 to the point now where CNN actually had the balls to run a segment mocking anyone that calls it a republic or a constitutional republic. It's quite astonishing. I mean, our Pledge of Allegiance, literally, you say to the republic for which it stands. It's incredible to see these things happen. But I think it's a similar thing that they're doing that you're talking about as well. Because right now, I mean, I don't know anyone that says I'm a Pennsylvanian. Hell, I don't even say that. I say I'm an American. Like if someone were to ask me if I were to leave the country and go somewhere else, I would say I'm an American. I almost never hear someone refer to themselves by the state that they're from. Like that's
Well, I can see if you're traveling within the United States, you might
outside
say
the
it.
US, people refer to themselves as American. And then they may say what state they're from, but within the US, and that changed after the Civil War. Before the Civil War, that's one of the things that people don't like. Robert E. Lee. Robert E. Lee and Grant were virtually classmates at West Point. Robert E. Lee was a Virginian. Virginia decided to go to the South, therefore he went and became, because he was a Virginian, following the direction from Virginia.
Yep.
That changed after the war.
Yep. And so again, England as a country and nation, if you understand England and how it was originally structured, it was a confederacy. Every shire and county was independent and had its own mini parliament, the same as what you've got in America with the states, right? And that is what they've done and destroyed it. Now they're regionalising to completely destroying it and taking it back to prior to King Alfred. They want to destroy it. So what you're saying there, just to make sure everyone's aware of this, right? I love Americans and I love each state of America being independent because the culture is English. Texans adopted the English common law in its entirety in 1836. It was reconfirmed in 1840, and that is why Texas has a culture that it has, right? And that's why the border's being attacked. And the southern states, some people are not going to like what I'm going to say here, but I'm going to tell you, they're predominantly Protestant. They didn't allow the Pope to come in and tell them what they can do, and they could be controlled from Europe, right? They didn't control that. They didn't allow. You do have the right to religion, but if you look at the English Constitution, it forbids that religion having any authority over you in a court of law. That's what it means. So they can't turn around tomorrow and say, we're going to cut all your heads off for blasphemy, right? That's only common sense. But that's what the English Bill of Rights give to people, and that in entirety is what Texas adopted. That's why Texans are hated. And not when I say hated, I mean externally. That's why they seek to destroy them now.
Yep. All right. Let's see. It is 4:47. Daddy Dragon, is there anything else that you want to cover as it relates to everything going on over there in England before we jump into some other things here? We're coming up towards the end of the first half of the show, so if there's anything else you want to throw out there, now's a great time to do it. Otherwise, we'll kind of transition into some stuff stateside here.
I will show just one image if I can, and just let you know if I can show you this on the screens, because you've got.
You can share your screen.
Okay.
There you go.
If that's come up on the screen, I think it has. Yeah. We've got an Englishman who's in the English Constitution Party playing in a band in New York, the state. So you have to find out exactly where it is. It's called Kings of Essex, and I'm sure someone will put the full message, or I think I'll put it up on your chat. I sent it to you earlier where they're actually playing. But July the 4th, right? Don't forget, last year, July the 4th, I was in Georgia, in Covington. I was celebrating the 4th of July, and people was coming up and saying, you're British. I said, I'm English. Let's have a party, right? 4th of July, independence. That's what it's all about. We've got an Englishman from the English Constitution Party playing in a band called the Kings of Essex, and he is a fantastic guitarist. There's their band playing there. If anyone's in that area and want to go and see him, go and see him. But he's a fantastic guy. He's the one on the left. And let me see if I can blow this up on the screen.
The one with the Cobra Kai shirt on?
Yeah.
My strike first, strike hard. That's what I love that show.
That's it.
Yeah, Cobra Kai. All right. Well, he's got a great taste in TV shows, so nothing else.
But there you go. So if you want to go see him, you can. But again, I'm grateful for being on this panel. I love coming on this show. I love this audience. I love being on Rumble and on Foxhole. Just keep sharing and make sure you get the message out, because the only people that are putting us out there, real people, is you, the audience. So crack on.
Right on. Yeah. Speaking of which, in about 5 minutes, we will be going exclusively to pilled.net for hour number 2. Those of you guys watching on Rumble, DLive, Cloud Hub, Odyssey, Twitter, find us over in the comfy bunker on pilled.net. I'm going to copy and paste the link into the Rumble chat and into the chat over on DLive for you guys. So please come join us over there, or just go type in pilled.net to your browser. Find us at 412 Productions. They make it really easy on you too. All the channels that are live have thumbnails. If you're on a mobile, just look at the top of the screen. You'll see them horizontally oriented. If you're on desktop, just look on the left-hand side of the screen. You'll see all the live channels vertically oriented on the left-hand side on desktop, or that little black and gold thumbnail. And again, the channel is 412 Productions if you want to find us over there for hour number 2. Before we jump over, I wanted to just show some poll numbers as a way of kind of previewing the panic on the Democrat side of things after the disastrous debate and this internal war happening over what to do with Sleepy Joe. Check this out. So this is internal polling from the Democrats. This was posted by none other than Donald J. Trump. And it says new general election poll leaked, and in blue internal. So this is Democrat internal polling. So this isn't the stuff they're putting out on the media. This isn't stuff that they're broadcasting. This is what they're looking at to make their own decisions. Look at these numbers. North Carolina, 11 points for Trump. Georgia, +10. Arizona, +10. Nevada, a normal Democrat stronghold, has Trump up 9 points. Pennsylvania, +7. That is beyond the margin of error in one of the most important states right now. Michigan, +7. Wisconsin, +4. New Hampshire. When was the last time New Hampshire went red? You got that +3. And then even Virginia, Trump is up a half a point. Same with New Mexico. There are states in play for the Republicans that we have not seen in play for a long time. And not to mention, New Jersey is competitive right now. New York is within 10 points. It's a long shot, but the fact that it's single digits in New York tells you things are not going well in the Democrat world. Also in play, from what I'm understanding, is what was the other Democrat state that they were talking about? I was listening to something earlier. I'm drawing a blank now. Point is that I'm hearing legitimate talk about 56, 57, even up to 60 potential Republican senators winning in November. You're talking a filibuster-proof majority in the Senate. If you get a decent lead in the House, you could really, really jumpstart the America First agenda in 2025, hit the ground running with pretty much whatever they need to do to get this thing going. So this is
and no complacency. We're not up. Just because that you see this doesn't mean anything. Everyone make sure you're still doing the thing where you're telling everybody you know to go vote and go vote Trump and go vote down ballot and go vote. So speaking of these kinds of polls, so for the last 3 weeks or so, your Keith Olbermann types, your very bombastic and over the top fear mongers have been saying the polls are solid for Biden. They're solid. All these states, these 6 swing states, they're all solid. And so today, I there's a shift happening. Keith Olbermann came out and said, you know what? Now it's 12 states, not 6 states, and it's not Biden has 6 states. So again, he's lying about the polls. He's looking at national polls, which means nothing. You're talking about a popular vote. You're not talking about this actual swing states. And now he's like, well, if Kamala takes over, then she could get the black vote. She could get the women's rights vote, and that Joe can leave with grace, and he'll, especially if Kamala and the vice and the next person that takes the place on the ticket for vice president wins, he'll be looked at as the savior of you already see them. They're fantasizing. They're creating this thing and fantasizing about something other than what's in front of them, because they're so stricken. I mean, some of these people were repeating the exact stages of grief after they saw the debate. Like, and then I was angry, and then I'm like, that's the stages of grief. And so I think what we're seeing collectively in the narrative is a little bit of that. But I think overall they're going to say, all right, no, everyone had that out of your system. Now shake that off. And so to me, they're still conditioning people to just accept it, because otherwise you're going to have Hitler 2.0. That's what they're telling people. And especially with this new thing of like the Supreme Court gave them new powers for which obviously is not the case. So it's been something else of a narrative. And so just crazy.
Yeah, it's fun to watch them squirm. We're gonna get into like this back and forth battle here in the second half, because there are reports that Biden might be stepping down in the next couple of weeks or dropping out of the campaign, which would leave Kamala Harris as the leader. Because look, she's the only one that could take advantage of the $300 million war chest that the Biden campaign has.
Yeah, that's another big thing of why they're saying that they could do that, because of that.
Yeah, so that's
sitting vice president.
Yeah, so she's the only one that they could spend that money with. But we'll get into all that on the other half. We have to jump over, so sit tight, guys. We're gonna get into all this in great detail. We got a lot of video clips to play, got a lot of articles to kind of sift through involving this and this internal struggle, this meltdown within the DNC. But guys, jump on over to pill.net for hour number 2. Again, I put that link in the live chat. I'll throw it there one more time for you all. On Rumble, it's on DLive, or just go to pill.net. Find us at 412 Productions. When we come back, we'll read your gold pill chats, officially say goodbye to the other platforms, and carry on with hour number 2 of the show. See you guys in 60 seconds.
Pill.net is proud to host 412 Productions, exclusively on the true home of free speech. To continue watching the show, we are here to help you over to Pilled. If you're new to the platform, just click on the welcome link provided. It will then automatically walk you through signing up for your free account. If you already have a Pill.net account, follow the link provided directing you straight to 412 Productions channel. We are excited to have you join the Pilled family. And if you have any questions at all, please email support@pill.net. Enjoy the rest of 412 Productions on pill.net. Free speech lives here.
All right, we are back. Huge thank you to everyone who has popped over from the other platforms to continue hanging out with us over on pill.net for hour number 2. If you're not going to follow us over, no worries. We'll be taking tomorrow off. But we will be back on Friday to wrap up the week. So if you're not going to join us for the 5 o'clock hour, we'll catch you guys at 4 p.m. on Friday. So pill.net, 412 Productions. Otherwise, have a wonderful rest of your Wednesday and a happy 4th of July holiday. We'll see you guys Friday at 4.